Bienvenidos, bienvenidas a todos. Espero que estén bien. I hope you are all well. Hope everybody is in good health and all of that. Hoy vamos a trabajar con dos o tres cosas. El artículo de comida chatarra, or junk food article. We're going to take a look at that. That's a shorty article. Es fácil, no es difícil. Segundo, vamos a trabajar un poquito más con se. We're going to work a little bit more with these accidental se, and you're going to hear some uses of it. And we'll take a look at all the little slides where you contributed ideas and take any questions you've got on se, that use of se. We're going to take, and we'll do some exercises on se. So that will be helpful. We are going to take one last, I wasn't going to do this, but then I thought, no, this makes sense. We're going to take one last use of se, and that will be
another one.
Yeah, that's why you need that later on. So this will be later on tonight. One last use of se, but it kind of flows out of everything else, so I think it'll make sense. And it is something that people use all the time when they talk about their emotional state. Yeah, and how to use that word get. So that's where I think we will end up today. We'll see how quickly it goes. If we need to take more time to do other things, así es, so it is. But we are going to take a look first at our article on comida chatarra, Voy a compartirles el artículo, la pantalla, the screen. I am going to share this screen with you. You know, I think I need to make this a little bit bigger. Tengo que engrandecer un poquito. I don't want to make people squinting like mad, so it's going to look really big. Okay, and when I've got things underlined or highlighted, that means it's something we have studied through this session. So you've got a contextual example, or some things I've got underlined because they're special words that are hard, that you probably have not seen before. And maybe you read it, but maybe you read it on Saturday and don't remember what the word is. You know,
Read it again.
I can relate to that with French. It's like, I should know this word. And you know, se fue. It just took out and flew away from my head. Okay. Porque y el título del artículo es ¿por qué amamos la comida chatarra? Why do we love junk food? Okay. Aquí tenemos un ejemplo del pretérito. They start off with preterite. Nos preguntaste. You asked us. Preguntaste es pretérito. You asked us, ¿por qué amamos la comida chatarra? Why do we love junk food? And chatarra is just junk, garbage. We've got an impersonal se. Se necesita mucho dinero, estrategia y esfuerzo para diseñar comida chatarra. A lot of money is needed. They're going to tell all the things that are needed. Not any person in particular. Here's the stuff that's needed. Or we could translate it as one needs. One needs a lot of money, strategy, esfuerzo, effort. Esfuerzo, effort. In order to design junk food. Diseñar es to design. Para diseñar, in order to design. Vale. El objetivo es hacerlo barato, conveniente y a pesar de tener poco o ningún valor nutricional, mantenerlo deseando más. Wow, what a long sentence. Let's break it into chunks. El objetivo es, the objective is. So our main point is, right? El objetivo es hacerlo barato, to make it cheap. Conveniente, es obvio, ¿no? Y a pesar de tener, in spite of, a pesar de, in spite of. In spite of having little or no nutritional value at all, our ningún word is none at all. In spite of having little or no nutritional value, mantenerlo deseando más. Keeping you wanting more. Mantener looks like maintain, and it is maintained, but we wouldn't say in English maintain. We would say keep you wanting more. Deseando es como querer, queriendo, querer to want, desear to want, deseando más, wanting more. Vale. Por lo general, here's one of those throw it out phrases. Por lo general, generalmente, igual. Generally, usually, most of the time. Por lo general, tiene un alto contenido a contener, tener, to have, contener, to contain. Okay. Tiene un alto contenido. It has a high content. It has a lot of this stuff. Alto contenido en cosas como la sal, el azúcar, y las grasas. It usually has a high content of salt, sugar, grasas, fats. Now notice, this is not the word gordo that everybody learned, you know. Un hombre gordo, a fat guy. Well, it's not the same kind of fat. This is the fat that is that nutritional definition of fat, right? Grasa. Okay, so meat that has lots of gristle in it, tiene grasa. It has fat. Okay. Okay. Tiene un alto contenido en cosas como la sal, el azúcar y las grasas que desencadenan. Desencadenan. That is built on the word cadena. Cadena means a chain. A cadena is a chain. Encadena would be to chain something up. Okay? But this, when we stick it in front of it, makes it a negative. So it's unchained. Wait a minute. Desencadena los centros de placer. It unchains the pleasure centers. But we probably wouldn't say unchains. We would say turns loose or triggers. We would probably translate that as triggers, because when you unleash something, you set it loose, you're letting it run wild. So you're triggering, boom, boom. Okay. Desencadenan los centros de placer en nuestros cerebros. So all these things, sal, azúcar, grasas, they trigger pleasure centers in our brains. Vale. Bueno, haciéndonos sentir, making us feel.
Feel good.
Haciéndonos, making us to feel. Haciéndonos sentir muy bien, making us feel really good, y alentándonos a seguir comiendo. Alentándonos, think of this as alentar, turning us loose to keep eating, encouraging us. Yeah. You know, like adelante is move it along. So alentándonos is like prodding us, encouraging us to move forward. Alentándonos a seguir. Seguir is to follow or continue. Seguir comiendo. Keeping us, encouraging us to keep on eating. Seguir comiendo, keep on doing, continue doing it. But we would generally say keep on doing it. Seguir comiendo. Okay. Y aquí, un mandato, a command. Mira. Look. Mira, nuestros cerebros son relativamente grandes. Okay. Y requieren mucha energía. And they require
A lot of energy.
a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
Para hacer lo suyo, this is a tough one to translate. Para hacer, to do your own thing. Ooh. Lo suyo can be translated a lot of ways. There's not a good one translate. It's not a literal translation. Lo suyo would mean what belongs to it. But that wouldn't make any sense if we translated it that way. It requires a lot of energy to do what it needs to do. Haciendo lo suyo, hacer lo suyo would mean to do what it normally does. To do the usual. To do its general job. The brain does many general jobs. Okay. So maybe the lo suyo, I should really underline that. That's a tough one. You can't really translate that literally. It's just saying it requires a lot of energy to do what it needs to do what it normally does. Okay. Así que, so that, así que, evolucionamos. We did what? We evolved. Evolucionamos para amar la comida de alta energía. We evolved
In order to
wanting,
Of high energy.
right, craving high energy food. We would probably even say crave here, but loving. Amar really indicates more than gustar, right? Loving that high energy food. Más allá del contenido súper alto en calorías, más allá is beyond, going beyond. Going beyond the super high calorie content. Los fabricantes, fábrica is a factory. So fabricantes would be people who
manufacturers.
manufacture stuff. Los fabricantes de comida chatarra tienen 1,000,000 de trucos. Trucos son
Trucos de bajo.
tricks. 1,000,000 de trucos bajo la manga. No tengo una manga. Una manga es la parte de la ropa que cubre el brazo.
Sleep.
Up. So they've got tricks up their
Sleep.
sleeve. They use the same kind of word order we would use. Tricks up their sleeve.
Bajo.
Trucos bajo la manga. Tricks up their sleeve. Cuando se trata de es especial. This is a special reflexive verb. Se trata de means when it's about, when it's a question of. Cuando se trata de hacer que sus productos sean irresistibles. When it's about making their products being irresistible. Sean is what they call a subjunctive. And, well, it would be too long for me to explain why we use it here, but they're making their products become something that you can't say no to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Como la cual de derretir, como la cualidad de derretirse en la boca. Derretirse es melt. Oh, like the quality of melting in your
Mouth.
mouth, que nos engaña. Nos engaña, it deceives us. Engañar es to cheat, to deceive. You know, and in this case, your brain is tricking you, right? So that melt in your mouth quality that nos engaña, well, it deceives us. It works against us, right? Creemos que las calorías han desaparecido mágicamente.
Good idea.
We think that. Creemos que es, we believe that, but we use it to state an opinion. Creemos, so they're saying this thing of melt in your mouth, it makes us believe that the calories have disappeared magically. Han desaparecido mágicamente. Bien. Ok. A ver. Entonces. Aumentar el sabor justo por debajo de lo que se llama saciedad sensorial específica. Aumentar es increase. Okay? Or increasing taste. Just below what is called, and here we got a fancy term. Specific sensorial satiation. Wow. I would not expect you to know saciedad. Satiation, that feeling of being full, or this is great, I love it, right? That's saciedad. Es un sabor tan grande que abruma tu cerebro y terminas sin ganas. It is such a great taste or flavor that it overwhelms. Abruma, overwhelms. It overwhelms your
Brain.
cerebro, your brain. Y terminas, you finish sin ganas. You wind up with no willpower. Ganas is a deep-seated desire, and you now have no desire to think of anything but stuffing it in your mouth, okay? Entonces, a pesar de saber que no es bueno para nosotros, entonces, well then, a pesar de, in spite of, saber, knowing that it's not
Good.
good for us, comerlo, eating it, está relacionado,
Is related to.
is related con cosas como la obesidad, la diabetes, las enfermedades cardíacas, cardiac, right, heart illnesses, incluso el cáncer. La comida chatarra puede ser muy difícil de resistir. Can be very difficult to resist. Alimento para el pensamiento. Oh, I forgot to introduce my para. Para. We have lots of examples of por and para. Alimento para el pensamiento. Food for thought. Seguro, for sure. Eso es. Y miren, wow, we got a se llama is called, we got a reflexive, we got a por debajo de, which is not telling us a destination, but a general location, por debajo de. We got para nosotros, for us. Food for thoughts. Exacto, tenemos, sí, lots of in order to phrases. Para hacer, para amar. ¿Verdad? Por lo general, para diseñar, in order to design. So lots of context. Sí, Juanita, dime.
The little third paragraph from the bottom where they're talking about es un sabor tan grande que abruma tu cerebro y
Sí.
terminas sin ganas.
Sí.
Stops your desires? See,
no, you end up with no willpower.
Okay. So ganas could also mean willpower.
It could mean, yeah, ganas is usually desire. But here you have a desire, it's just to keep eating.
Ah.
Sounds good.
So sin ganas is, well, like you have no say in it. You are overwhelmed. All those little desire to have the fat and the salt and the sugar just overloads your brain.
At least potato chips.
Yeah.
Eso es. ¿Vale? Bueno, ¿hay más preguntas o no?
Okay.
¿No? Ok,
Gracias.
bien. Vamos a cambiar de tema. We're going to change our, cambiar de tema. We're going to change our way of thinking here. We're going to kind of change gears a little bit. We're going to go back and revisit this idea of using se. Using se, how will you say? Let's take a look at the Padlet that I gave you for homework first, and then we're going to go back and do kind of a review lesson. Did you watch the, I think it was the Senora Kaplan video on using se? I think I included that for the homework. He just uses like a blackboard kind of thing. He's got quite a New York accent in English. But really good explanation. We're going to take a look at the Padlet and see, because you may have looked at this before other people made comments or in between. And I made some little comments, and you can see on this, I can even, do little recordings. So when you see a little button there, it's a recording of me speaking, giving an example or giving directions or whatever, lo que sea. But we can take a look at the little comment box here. And, ¿qué pasó? Wow, where did they go?
Yeah.
That one disappeared. No sé qué pasó.
I know I
do not
wrote
know what
something.
happened. That may
know.
be, I would say that is likely be my fault. I may have hit a wrong button. God forbid, but apparently that's what, oh, a cuatro, aquí. Way down here. Because it's in the other botón. That's why I was missing it. Oh, okay. A ver. Pueden ver. Can you guys see the little slide on the side?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Ejemplos. We're going to take a look at some examples. And se me rompió la copa de cristal. I broke my glass. Yeah. Okay. Se me rompió el plato de servir. Un ejemplo. So here are some examples that you guys have. Broke a serving dish, right? Perfecto. Se me rompió mis gafas. We needed to change something here a little bit.
Oh,
We cannot
okay.
use a se me rompió because the thing that was broken is what is going to drive this, not and the reason is that the person who does it doesn't get the blame. So we don't conjugate it for the person who does it. We conjugate it for, if you're talking about gafas,
So there's
it's got two lenses, it's a plural noun.
So it's like pantalones. There's two legs.
Right, so it's like pantalones. So even though it's one item, it's a plural noun. So it really needs to be, and you can see I wrote in there, or you can go back into it later on and look at it again. Se me rompieron mis gafas. And literally it's like saying the glasses, they went and they broke themselves on me. Okay, this is a really common expression because if we make it, which we could, rompí mis gafas, I broke my glasses. To you, that sounds pretty innocent. I broke my glasses, but it implies that you kind of meant to, out of anger, or that's what it says, that something was done with purpose. And that's not what we mean. We mean that this thing happened and shoot, it was an out of control kind of thing. So it's got to be se me rompieron. They broke on me. Así es. Okay. Se me rompieron mis músculos abdominales. Oh my gosh, I broke my abdominal muscles. Pues sí. Y yo tengo una hernia. Ay, oh, pobre Federico. La historia de la vida, the story of our lives. Okay. But the muscles are what broke apart. So, if you want to say you broke a bone, this is what you use. Because you didn't purposely break a bone, right? Así es. Se me rompió el teléfono celular anoche. I broke my cell phone last night. It was an oops, right? The se me rompió automatically tells somebody oops. Completely unintended. That's the whole purpose of these phrases. Okay.
Now, I had one and it didn't show up there.
¿Qué pasó?
Veo
4, yeah, I just see 4.
Se me rompió una uña.
Se me rompió
una uña.
Una uña. Oh, broken nail.
Oh, uña.
Sí, perfecto. Eso es perfecto. Okay.
Oh, una pregunta.
Sí, dime.
Looking at the original sticky, why did you write a porque instead of just porque? Because you said I'm angry because. Why is it a porque? And if you wrote a sentence, would it be yo estoy enojado?
Oh, yo estoy enojada. Yo estoy enojada. That's there because if you're a female talking about yourself, you say estoy enojada.
Okay.
That is just reminding you if you're talking about yourself. Buena pregunta. It's reminding you that if you're talking about yourself and you're a female, always say it as estoy enojada. That's just telling you feminine form if you're a lady.
Okay, that goes with enojada, not a porque.
Yeah, and that is not separate.
Okay.
Sí. Enojado, enojada. Estoy enojada porque. Estoy enojada porque. Vale, buena pregunta. Okay. Vamos a ver, we're going to take a look at the second one. El segundo ejemplo, vamos a ver el segundo ejemplo. Me siento muy tonto, me siento muy tonta. Yo diría, I would say, me siento muy tonta. I feel silly. I just feel dumb. Me siento muy tonta porque se me olvidó o se me olvidaron. Ok, vamos a ver. Se me olvidaron. Now, ¿dónde puse mis gafas? Where I put my glasses. This is kind of a special and tricky thing. I forgot where I put my glasses. We say things like that all the time. I forgot where I put my keys. I forgot where I put my wallet, right? But where I put my wallet is considered a onesie thing. So it won't be se me olvidaron. It'll be, even though it's gafas, even though it is gafas, I know. What you're really saying is not that you forgot your glasses, you forgot where you put it. And where you put it is just kind of a situational thing. So it's going to go to singular. So it really should be, se me olvidó donde puse mis gafas. Se me olvidó donde puse mis gafas. ¿Entienden? Understand why it's se me olvidó? I know it's gafas, and I know gafas is plural, but you got a donde puse, where I put. And that becomes just kind of a situational thing. And anytime we're talking about an action or a situation, it just goes singular. ¿Está bien? Make sense? ¿Lógico o no?
Where I
Oh, Marilyn,
Sí.
the one that I wrote then, because I said again, or is olvidaron okay, or should I have done the same olvido donde puse mis?
No, está bien. No, just like we in English take many different ways, different phrases to express it, it's the same. There often is not just one way to say something. I mean, that's a frequent thing. Yeah, never be afraid of that. So let's take a look at the second one. El segundo ejemplo. Se me olvidó que el regalo iba a ser una sorpresa. I forgot that the gift was gonna be a surprise.
Did that.
And that the gift was going to be a surprise is just kind of a situation, singular. Se me olvidó. And you might say in English, it completely slipped my mind.
Mm.
Right? I totally forgot. I completely forgot. Se me olvidó que el regalo was going to be, iba a ser una sorpresa. El tercer ejemplo, se me olvidó hacer mi tarea en la clase de español. I forgot to do my Spanish homework.
Oh, it's supposed to be.
Hacer mi trabajo, doing my homework, anytime it's an activity, it's a onesie. Hacer mi tarea, doing my homework. Okay, me siento muy tonto, el cuarto, fourth. Me siento muy tonto porque se me olvidaron los verbos. And I forgot the verbs. Correcto. You probably want to put en el pretérito y en el imperfecto. Es una cosita. It's a little thing. Somebody would totally understand you. Se me olvidaron los verbos. I forgot the verbs.
So I'm missing N, E-N. Okay.
And
And
Sí. En el pretérito y en el imperfecto. Because you need to say what
Got
tense they're in. Yeah. Y se me olvidaron mis gafas de sol otra vez. I forgot my sunglasses again. Perfecto. Se me olvidaron. Bien. ¿Ok?
Marilyn, I have a question.
Sí, sí, dime.
On my screen, I had the first one up at the top before the one you read, and I made changes on it.
Oh, ya.
And now it doesn't show. Oh, okay. I didn't
Perdón.
know if it showed up.
I had to
or
move
not.
it. I forgot to, oh, wow, I had it scrolled down. Se me olvidaron las llaves de mi casa. I forgot my house keys. Exacto. Perdón, Susana.
Okay, I also had one here that doesn't show up. Did I have to save it or something? I mean, is there some?
So,
yes, the 3 dots, I think. The 3 dots when you put something, or the arrow. You had to hit something.
I think there was an arrow to hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, at the bottom of the page, add a comment.
I think there is, I'm trying to remember how it shows up when you,
right here.
No, I spaced that. I missed that. So
well, these are little things. As we do it more and more, you'll get used to these things. And we'll be using different things. I found some even more powerful websites to use that will be fun, but we'll probably like
I like that we're seeing this and hearing it. Because I do much better when I see Spanish and hear it simultaneously. But I like this because I'm learning from other people's writings as well. So.
And I'm finding a lot more websites where I can create things like this, where I can actually do a recording and you can listen and see things written. So it's going to be very, very helpful moving forward.
I like these stickies.
To learn I mean, they're extra tools, and a lot of us do well when we hear somebody speaking and see it written. So that is helpful. Okay, nuestro amigo tenía una idea genial. Our friend had a great idea. Genial. Awesome. Una idea genial. No se nos ocurrió. It didn't occur to us. It occurred to our friend, right? No se nos ocurrió. Vamos a ver. We're going to take a look. No se nos ocurrió. No se nos ocurrió la fiesta de cumpleaños. Birthday party didn't occur to us. Bien. And this is the only one out of the batch where you probably could use either present or preterite. Because sometimes we say, oh, it doesn't occur to me that way, or it didn't occur to me that way, but the other ones are probably preterite. Okay. El ejemplo de Susana aquí. No se nos ocurrió decirle al jefe. It didn't occur to us to tell the boss antes de la fecha límite del proyecto. Before
Project.
the work deadline, right? Fecha límite es deadline.
Oh.
The date, limit date is the deadline whenever something is due. No se nos ocurrió alquilar un autocaravana. It didn't occur to us to rent a
Van.
Man.
autocaravana. You can probably take a guess.
A van.
An RV.
There are a lot of words that are used for van. That would be one. Autocaravana. Para que podamos viajar juntos, so that we can travel together. Para que podamos viajar, so that we might be able to. And actually, we would have had to have shifted that into past subjunctive, but that's okay. The fact that you've done the subjunctive is A-okay. Bien, vale, aquí. No se nos ocurrió una fiesta a la Zoom. You would probably say, no se nos ocurrió una fiesta por Zoom.
Oh.
Now, why do you think it might be por Zoom instead of a la?
Because it's like a.
A indicates always to movement. But what we probably want to say instead is por Zoom, because a party by means of is really what we mean here, I think. Está bien, don't you think that's what we really mean? Yeah. So if you want to say it didn't occur, a Zoom party.
Or on Zoom.
Or party on Zoom. Por Zoom is like saying on the phone, on the internet, on Zoom, por Zoom. No se nos ocurrió una fiesta por Zoom. Para su cumpleaños, and para su cumpleaños is fine. For his birthday or her birthday, lo que sea, whatever it may be. Okay. A ver. No se nos ocurrió construir nuestra trinchera. We won't use la with nuestro. La needs to go away. La needs to go away because we already have that word our in there. So it'll just become nuestra trinchera.
And so what did I incorrectly say by putting in la?
Well,
Or the.
then you're saying the trench.
Oh, okay, right. Got
And
it.
if we're saying our trench, we don't need that word the anymore,
Got it.
right? It
Right.
it eliminates the need to have the in, because
Got it.
we're telling who it belongs to instead,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
No se nos ocurrió construir nuestra trinchera para Cox, our trench for Cox. Qué difícil. Okay. No se nos ocurrió manejar a la playa y tomar el sol. It didn't occur to us to drive to the beach and lay out in the sun. Tomar el sol, take up some sun, sunbathe, lay in the sun. Es así. Magnífico. So whenever we say didn't occur to us to do something, that es singular. It's singular. Okay. Hay dos más. We've got two more. Dos más. Perdón. I need to read the premise first. En mi casa, cada semana, in my house, every week, something happens. And here, again, actually, this often is in, the idea behind this is past tense. Every week we run out of something. Every week something finishes up itself on us. Meaning we put an end to it. We finish it all off and we run out. And in English, run has nothing to do with run out of gas, run out of milk, run out of meat, whatever, run out of bread, right? But that's just the way we say it in English. Okay, en mi casa cada semana se nos acaba. We run out of something. En mi casa cada semana se nos acaban manzanas. We run out of apples. Acaban, perfecto. Se nos acaban vegetales frescos. We run out of fresh veggies. Sí. Se nos acaban plátanos inmaduros. We run out of, well, unripe, inmaduros. Yeah, like saying, we might say green, green bananas, right? Meaning green, unripe. Se nos acaba mi fruta favorita, la sandía. We run out of my favorite fruit, and then you named it. Sandía, watermelon. En mi casa cada semana se me acaba tiempo. This one could be por para, depends on what you mean. Por tarea de español. In my house every week, I run out of time. Se me acaba tiempo. I run out of time. Now, if you say it as por tarea de español, it's I run out of time because of my Spanish lesson.
Para.
If you say I run out of time to do it, then I need not por, but para. So you might plug in para, you might plug in por, but you change the meaning. ¿Entiendes? Understand? Yeah. Sí. ¿Verdad?
Probably para.
Okay, para.
It's para.
I didn't change it because I thought, all right, depends on what I run. I don't do anything else around the house because I'm doing my Spanish. Qué dedicación. Wow, that's dedication. Okay.
He tries that excuse, but it doesn't work. So, it's para.
Está bien. Okay. Y el último ejemplo aquí. En mi casa cada semana se nos acaban las frutas frescas por los pájaros. Do you mean for the birdies?
Yes.
Okay, then we need not por,
Para.
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 If you give those little items to the birdies, then it's
So that's
para.
like for someone.
For someone.
Yeah. Otherwise, again, por, you're getting it because of. If we run out of fruit because of birds, it would kind of mean the birds are pecking at the food and eating it. Somebody left it outside and there's nothing left for us because the birds went through it. That could happen. But so we need para if you're putting it out for the birdies. Okay, a ver, un ejemplo más. We got one more lonely example. Un ejemplo más. Aquí cuando era niño o cuando era niña. We're talking about one person, mi hijo o mi hija. Cuando era niño, mi hijo era muy torpe. My son was really clumsy. Oh, cuando era niña, mi hija era muy torpe. Siempre se les cayó. Y se les cayó would mean they were falling on him or her, but it wouldn't mean like pulling something on top of yourself. It would mean that that person dropped something. They dropped it. Okay? A ver. Siempre se le cayeron los cubiertos en el suelo. Cubiertos son como like silverware, cutlery, all the stuff you use for when you're setting the table. Se le cayeron los cubiertos en el suelo mientras se prepara la mesa while fixing up the table. Okay? Para la cena. Siempre se le cayó la pelota al tratar de jugar catch. Always drop the ball when playing catch. So, se le cayó la pelota, ball, se le cayó. But, first example, el primer ejemplo aquí, se le cayeron los cubiertos. Cubiertos, plural, se le cayeron. ¿Bien? Ok. El tercer ejemplo. Siempre se le cayeron las tazas hechas de cristal. He or she always dropped the glass.
Made of glass.
Tazas would be cups. You could use it for a bowl as well, not tazas, but probably a cup. Glass cups made out of glass, de cristal. siempre se le cayó su carro. That one I'm not sure of because I don't think you can drop a car.
You mean
Yeah,
break it?
what I meant was broke, you know, or.
Oh, okay.
you
So
know.
let's put in what it would be if it would be more like, broke the car. Like literally, the car broke down on them.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
so
Okay.
go.
There is a word for that. Un momentito. Tengo que incluir aquí.
I can see why you question whether or not someone could pick up a car and drop it. Yeah, okay. I
Sí,
got it.
yeah, that would be
It
really
goes back to
painful.
Alia. Goes back
Muy
to
doloroso, really, really painful. Okay. Se le descompuso el carro.
Okay.
That's that word that.
Se le descompuso. It decomposed itself, meaning it fell apart
Got it.
and was no longer functioning.
Oh, yes. It's on
Se le descompuso el carro. The car broke down. It fell to pieces on him.
Right.
It broke down. Siempre se le cayeron los libros de texto. He always dropped textbooks. Libros de texto, plural, se le cayeron. ¿Vale?
Vale. Mhm.
Bien. Bueno, ¿tienen preguntas? ¿Tienen preguntas de esto?
Sí.
Vale,
Ah,
dime. tell me.
I wanted to say, I ate something that disagreed with me.
Ooh.
Would you use that same construction? Se me comió algo que no estuve de acuerdo con mí?
Mm.
Because I didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
Onions?
I am looking for some information. I have not heard people use that, but I'm going to see if I can find some information for us on here. My feeling is it would have been more like it made me sick, that people would say, because when you're saying food disagreed with you, so you're saying that because you ate it, it made you ill.
Right. It's just a lighter
Que
way of saying.
la comida me hizo enferma. La comida me hizo enfermo. I don't think they would use the word quarrel or disagree. Like, yeah, that is a really nice non-committal way of expressing that idea, isn't it? But no, really, I mean, the way I've only heard people say it is that me hizo enfermo, it made me ill. There may be more than one way. I'll see if I can find more than one way for that, because actually there might be a more genteel kind of way to expressing that I don't quite know right now. But I will check that out for us here. Okay. A ver. Okay. Más preguntas? More questions?
Marilyn, I have a question.
Sí, dime.
When you gave us the list of the verbs that are commonly used, you at the end of each of the verbs, it says, for instance, olvidar se le.
Yes, sí.
So putting the lay there,
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand why.
I know what you're asking about. Entiendo perfectamente. Vamos a ver. I'm going to bring that up. En la lista. Voy a compartir la lista con todos. I'm going to share the screen with everybody. This is what you're asking about. Sí, Susana, ¿verdad? Okay, sí. If you were to see this in a dictionary, Olvidársele. They would tag the le on the end because it's always se me, se te, se no, se le. So se le is kind of a generic way. If you were to look it up as a structure, that's how they would list it as a generic look it up word. ¿Entiendes?
Okay.
¿Verdad? Yeah, that's why it's listed there on the Google screens, the Google slides in that way.
Okay.
Because just like verbs that are reflexive have the se tagged onto the end, right? They tag that little le on the end to tell you, oh, if you want to make it an accidental, there'll be a se, le, se, me, se, right?
Oh, I see.
And it might not be a le, it might be a me, se, te, se, nos, se, les, right? But the le is just generic for look it up in the dictionary kind of purposes. Okay. A ver. Bueno, vamos a ver. I'm going to have you, don't think we're going to look at this now together, but I'm going to show you what the screen looks like. I'm going to have you watch a video about this, but it goes a little bit fast. So I'm going to show you maybe just a little bit of this. It'll be a homework. Perdón. But what I'm going to do is to show you the first example so that when you start to listen to it for homework, it won't throw you a loop.
Oh, yes, it
He kind of goes through, he does go fast. You're going to have to slow him down. But instead of using preterite, he's going to use present perfect, which does give you an idea of the past. So I'm going to do, como dijiste, Federico, like you said, Fred, I'm going to do like a short translation on the first couple of examples so that you know what he's getting at. Because this is a tense you've only seen in passing. But what I want you to understand is that he's talking about recent past, that this has happened to me. Maybe a week ago, maybe a couple of hours ago, something recent. But this is all about the accidental events. I'm gonna get him slowed down. Uy, momentito. Okay, a ver, bien. And we'll see just a couple of the examples so that I can turn you loose to do that as a homework kind of exercise this week.
Cara de enfadado. Se me rompió la pantalla. Mira, aquí estoy yo con cara de enfadado. Se me rompió la pantalla. De hecho, no lo rompí yo. No rompí el teléfono.
No rompí el teléfono. I didn't bust the phone on purpose. They just don't bother to say the word on purpose. Rompí means I meant to do it. No rompí el teléfono, se me rompió. It broke on me.
Se me rompió. Bueno, y hoy sí que se me ha caído el café.
Se me ha caído el café. Here is where he uses a recent past. He didn't say se me cayó. He could have said se me cayó el café. But Spaniards in Spain, which is where he's from, like to use this present perfect thing, okay? Se me ha caído. I have spilled it. And this is like saying spilled it, but it's accident because se me. And instead of se me cayó, se me ha caído. I have spilled it. That's the only difference. Instead of I spilled, I have spilled. I have splashed it out of my cup. Se me ha caído el café. And you can see he's got a coffee stain on the paper. We've all done that.
Y hoy sí que se me ha caído el café. No lo he tirado yo.
I didn't throw it on purpose. I haven't dumped it on purpose. Se me ha caído. I have spilled it. So he's using a different kind of past tense. Just know that. When you see se me ha caído, the ha caído is have spilled or have dropped instead of just dropped. Have dropped, have spilled. ¿Entienden? Understand? Okay, unos ejemplos más. Just a couple more examples and then I'll let you watch the rest on your own.
Se me ha caído. Hola hispanófilos e hispanófilas y bienvenidos una vez más a Spanish with Vicente. Me llamo Vicente y soy profesor de español online y director de la Academia de Español. Y en el vídeo de hoy vamos a hablar de estos se me, se te o se le, etcétera, etcétera, y algunos más, para expresar voluntariedad o involuntariedad.
Involuntariedad. Involuntary action. ¿Ok?
En las acciones que realizamos. ¿Estáis preparados y preparadas? ¡Adelante! Como bien has visto en la introducción, a mí se me ha caído el café en mis apuntes.
I spilled the coffee. I have spilled the coffee on my notes. Apuntes are your notes.
Y se me ha roto la pantalla del móvil.
And I've busted my phone screen. I broke my phone screen.
Se me ha roto el móvil.
Móvil es celular. Móvil is what they use instead of celular in Spain. That's all. Móvil, celular.
¿Qué quiere decir que se me ha roto la pantalla del móvil y se me ha caído café?
I have broken the screen, la pantalla. I've spilled my coffee. I splashed it all over, okay?
Se me ha caído el café. ¿Por qué no diría yo he tirado el café en la mesa o he roto la pantalla del móvil? Bueno, pues eso es lo que te voy a explicar justo ahora mismo, pero antes quiero recordarte que... Espera, voy a beberme el café antes de continuar. Un cafelito por las mañanas me encanta. Bueno, ya la hora que es, un poco tarde. Bien, pues antes de empezar con esta explicación, quiero recordarte que si te suscribes a la Academia de Español...
Okay, so he does some explanation. We're going to get you to...
Porque a mí no me gusta dar la lata. Voy al grano. Hoy os voy a hablar de este se me, se te, se...
So, you can go to the minute marker. It'll be 2:13, 2:15. That's where he starts it.
Seles, senos, seos o seles, para expresar involuntariedad. Y quiero que mires estas dos frases que te voy a escribir aquí. Jorge rompió el teléfono y a Jorge se le rompió el teléfono. Bien, en este caso, este se le, lo que está expresando en realidad es involuntariedad. Por lo tanto, si decimos a Jorge se le rompió el teléfono, estamos expresando que no era la voluntad de Jorge que el teléfono se le rompiera. Sin embargo, si decimos Jorge rompió el teléfono, lo que estamos haciendo es decir que Jorge quería romper el teléfono. Jorge tenía intención de romper el teléfono. Te voy a...
Okay. Es la diferencia. So, you can finish watching that. The difference really is that one expresses intention. I meant to do this. Like when your kid has a fit as a little kid and breaks something on purpose because they're in a foul mood as a 2-year-old. ¿Verdad? A ver, that's the difference. So he's going to show you some examples there. I'll send you the link to that. Don't just start to watch it till about 2 minutes in. That's good enough. Okay, a ver. Vamos a ver unos ejemplos aquí. We're going to take a look at some other examples where you get to plug your ideas in to finish these sentences. Vamos a ver. Let's take a look. Okay. Bien. And here's our run up here, right? Se, eventos inesperados, unexpected. Esperados, to wait for. Inesperados means unexpected. You weren't waiting for it. It just happened. Okay. They give us some verbs we're going to use in the exercises below. And I've blown this way up, so I'll give you the link to this, but it'll be, you know, smaller print when you have it on your computer. So, acabar, run out of, with the sele, right? Caer, with the sele, fall or drop. Olvidar, with sele, forget. Oh, parar, parar. Also to stop working, often used with a watch. Like a little device. We don't usually say like your watch breaks down, it just stops, right? Perder, to lose. Quedar, meaning you left something behind. It's kind of like saying you forgot, but you left it behind. Like I left my hat on the car seat, like that. It means forgot, but we say left behind. Quedar with sele. Oh, quemar with sele. To burn yourself. Well, that's usually an accident. Yeah. Unless you have a severe problem mentally, it's an accident. Quemar with sele, right? And romper with sele. Okay. Vamos a ver. Let's see. You know, actually, I'm kind of curious if you guys can click on the screen. I think you should have the power to be able to share and click on, but if you can't do it, we'll find out shortly.
No.
No.
If I share it, you can't? No, you can't click on it? Okay, then we'll have to click here. Luis y a Carmen. Here's where we're telling who it happened to. Dos personas, ¿verdad? Luis y a Carmen. It's going to be se le perdió, se les perdió, se le perdieron, se les perdieron. We have to look at the whole thing. A Luis y a Carmen, las maletas en el aeropuerto. Suitcases at the airport.
Say,
Les
perdió.
It's got to be a se les, and will it be se les so we can eliminate this. It's either se les perdió or se les perdieron. ¿Cuál? ¿Cuál es?
lost.
Perdió.
Se les perdieron.
They're still lost.
¿Se les perdió or se les perdieron?
Well, there's more than one suit.
More than one suitcase. Sí.
Se les perdieron.
Se les perdieron. They lost.
Yeah.
They lost the suitcases at the airport. That's a big oops. Okay. But it's got to be se les because it's a Luis y a Carmen. So they're giving you 4 possible combinations, right?
Okay.
Okay. Separated by the commas, right? A Paco y a mí. A Paco y a mí. It happened to us. It happened to Paco and it happened to me, the 2 of us together. Okay. Oh, la paciencia. Cuando tuvimos que hacer cola. Patience when we had to wait in line. Se le acabó or se nos acabó or se me acabaron or se nos acabaron.
Se nos acabó.
Acabó.
Because it's an action?
Se nos acabó. It's, yes, and paciencia, patience. It's one thing. A Paco y a mí, and they just added that to be very specific on who we mean by us. We ran out, right? Se nos acabó la paciencia. We ran out of patience. Not a physical thing, but we run out of patience. Alguien, somebody. Wow, well, that's vague. Somebody.
Broke.
Un plato de espaguetis con salsa. A plate of spaghetti and sauce.
Se le cayó.
They like, yeah.
It's either se le cayó or se le cayeron or se les cayó or se nos cayeron.
Someone,
Se le
someone
cayó.
is just an
One
individual.
person.
Someone is a vague person. They're a onesie. So that's going to eliminate some of your choices right now off the bat.
Se le cayó because it's just one plate.
Se le cayó because it's only one plate. Even though we've got espaguetis, it's un plato.
Well, they dropped the plate. They didn't drop the
A
spaghetti.
dish. Right. They dropped the dish and, well, okay, everything else on it. And se le, because alguien is one person, somebody. Somebody dropped it. We don't see who did it, just somebody. Okay. A ver, pedimos una tortilla española. We ordered a Spanish, oh, this is omelet.
Ooh, yum.
This tortilla is not the tortilla mexicana.
Mm.
Tortilla española is an omelet. Pedimos una tortilla española, pero a la cocinera, a la cocinera. Here's the person who did the cooking. A la cocinera, and it's going to be, oh, something about burning. Las patatas.
Ooh.
Se le quemó, or se nos quemaron, or se le quemó, or se le quemaron.
Well, why doesn't it not say les quemaron?
Oh,
Why not say les?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's pedimos
we've
is.
got a nosotros here, and we've got an a la cocinera up here.
Ah.
So there's no les that's even a possible.
Well, I'm thinking the potatoes are
Me
plural.
too.
That's
I thought the same thing.
no.
But the se le tells who did it.
okay.
But it's the cook.
And the verb goes according to the thing, which will be
Right.
patatas.
Okay.
So the cook,
The cook did it.
It's the
Burned the-
cook who did the burning, right?
So it has to be say like.
se le
Se le
quemó.
quemó, se nos quemaron, se le quemó, se le quemaron.
Say like him.
Camaro.
They got two se le quemos.
Well, that might be the one.
Yeah.
Se le quemó.
Oh, no, wait. So, se le quemó. No, it's se le quemaron. Claro.
Verb,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, why did they put two, the same thing in there? No. Se le quemaron. Quemaron porque patatas, ¿verdad?
Okay.
Patatas.
It's singular.
The potatoes got burnt,
Okay.
and the cook did it because they weren't watching what they were doing. So it's se le because cocinera did it, but quemaron
Because it's plural.
patatas because it's plural. Okay. Tu amigo no llegó a la fiesta. Your friend didn't get to the party. A tiempo, on time. Tu amigo no llegó a la fiesta a tiempo. ¿Por qué? Because, oh, the watch stopped.
Ha.
El reloj. The watch stopped and, whose
Say-
watch stopped?
say.
Friend.
The friend.
Tu amigo. Right, your friend had the bad watch. So, the watch stopped. It's either se les paró, or se te paró, or se les pararon, or se le paró.
Se le paró.
I agree.
Se le paró. Se le, it happens to tu amigo, your friend. Didn't happen to you. It happened to tu amigo, your friend. Vale? That's why it can't be with the te. It can't be se te. Se le paró. Paró, reloj una cosa. Watch one thing. Okay? Bueno, no pude pagar. I couldn't pay. No pude pagar. Porque a mí, because I did something. A mí, los cheques de viajero en casa. Oh, I left behind my cashier, well, not cashier's checks, my traveler's checks. Nobody uses those anymore, but okay. I left behind my checks at home. I left them at home. A mí, we're telling who it happened to. And the thing that got left behind, cheques. So either se te quedó, se les quedaron, se me quedaron, or se me quedó.
Se me quedaron.
Se me quedaron. Se me, because it happened a mí, to me. And what did I do as an oops? Up.
Checks.
My checks were left behind at home. Quedar is to remain or to stay in a place. Se me quedaron because it's cheques. Bien? Okay, dos más. A mi profesor no puede verme bien. My teacher can't see me so well. Mi profesor no puede verme. ¿Por qué? Because gafas, glasses.
Glasses are
Yeah.
Oh,
Plural.
so it's profesor who can't see.
Oh,
Se le rompió.
Se me rompió, or se le rompió, or se me rompieron, or se le rompieron.
se le rompió. The teacher broke her glasses or
The
his.
teacher did it.
So it's le.
It happened to the teacher.
Le.
So it's like,
Las gafas
And
rompieron.
gafas,
Se le rompieron.
Officer.
se le rompieron. Sí, se le rompieron. L-O-E, the object indefinite. The indefinite object is le. Se le rompieron. Gafas, plural, rompieron. Se le happened to profesor, mi profesor. Se le rompieron las gafas. Bien?
Sí.
Okay.
Marilyn, before, didn't you say that gafas was considered a singular in terms of how you looked at it there?
Well, it's singular in that it is one item, but when you talk about using the verb with it, it'll have to take a plural verb.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's one thing. It's a thing that's got two lenses, and that's why, like we say, glasses, right?
But in the other example, it was an it, and that's why it was a singular. I think that's what Marlene is thinking of.
Oh, no, it's got to be a plural.
Okay.
Se le rompieron las gafas. Se le rompieron las gafas. Sí. Bien. Gafas will always take a, if it takes a verb, it'll take a plural verb.
Okay.
Okay. Bien. A ustedes. Here's what happened to you guys. A ustedes. Oh, somebody forgot something. We see where they're using olvidó or olvidaron. Olvidó or olvidaron. Las fotos que sacaron de mi familia. The photos that you took of my family.
Lace.
And
Ustedes.
you forgot it. So it happened to you. And the thing that you forgot were fotos. So it's either se les olvidaron or se les olvidó or se nos olvidó or se me olvidaron.
Well, ustedes is you, so
You
se
guys.
les olvidaron.
Gotta be se les, and fotos tells you need something plural. Se les olvidaron. Bien?
Yeah.
Okay. This is an exercise that doesn't require you to know all the right words in the right order. You're picking from a group of words. Pueden ver, can you see that? You can go back and do a dry run on that again. I'll give you the link to that. And that helps you get to the right answer. But we're always looking for who it happened to tells you that it has to be se me or se te or se le or se les, or se nos. That tells you who it happened to. But the verb always looks at the thing or things that got broken, were dropped, were left behind, were burnt on the stove, were lost, whatever, lo que sea. ¿Bien?
Yeah.
¿Vale? Ok. Muy bien. Vamos a ver. ¿Hay preguntas o no?
No.
No? I'll give you a second shorter video to watch on that se thing. And actually, this won't be just se. It'll be lots of different uses of se thrown together. Lots of different ones that we have covered and reviewed, some reviewed, some looked at new. There'll be a new one. We're going to take a quick look at one last use of se. Vale la pena. This is worth looking at. Okay. And again, you don't have to take notes because you'll get the link for this. No importa, it does not matter. Okay. Wow. Estás confundido. Estás confundida. Are you confused yet? This is another use of se. It's yet another use of se. And it is super common in conversation. Sometimes we use se not as a reflexive, not as an impersonal or a passive, not as this accidental thing. Sometimes we use se with the idea of, in English, we would say becoming or getting a certain way. This always has to be paired up with something that talks about an emotional or physical response. Always. So that limits it a little bit. It'll always be some kind of an emotional or physical response. So let's take a look. We won't practice this yet till next week. We will practice it next week when we come together. You'll get some prompts. And I'll send you the prompts ahead of time. There'll be prompts to speak using these because we use these for speaking quite often. Okay. You may say by this time, I really hate the word se. There are too darn many ways it's used, but that's kind of the point for why we need to take a look at se, because everything hinges on context. So it depends on what the meaning of your conversation, which way is that conversation turning. Como siempre, la clave es el contexto, okay? El contexto, the context is what rules this. Many verbs referring to emotional states use se to express the idea of somebody getting or becoming a certain way. So if you try to look up, if you're a good little doobie and you look up in a Spanish dictionary, get, you're going to see all kinds of stuff, scroll up, and you'll be really confused. Okay. Get or become is one of the hardest things to translate. So this is like when we want to say somebody becomes happy, they become or they get sad, they get angry, they get mad. Oh, she got really worried. He became really relaxed. Oh, he chilled out. Yeah. Somebody became frightened or got scared, on and on and on. All these things are emotional reactions or emotional states. And these kind of emotional states often use se, either with the verb or with ponerse. So we're going to take a quick look at these. Por ejemplo, no te enojes, don't get mad. People say this a lot, no te enojes. Don't get angry. Me calmo cuando tomo una copa de vino. I calm down. Oh, I might even say I chill out. Ha! Right? In slang. I calm down, I chill out, I mellow out. Oh, when I have a glass of wine, me calmo. And this is going to go back to the idea of it looks reflexive. Me goes with a yo verb, te goes with a tu verb, nos goes with a nosotros verb, etc. Okay? And I'll put in a slide to say that because I did not do that this week. This goes back to the idea of you think strictly it's a reflexive, but it isn't really. You're talking about somebody getting a certain way. They get themselves into a certain state. It's always talking about an emotion or a feeling or a reaction that somebody has. Mi hija se asusta cuando ve una araña. My daughter gets scared when she sees a spider. Because we wouldn't say she scares herself. She gets scared. She becomes a jittery person. Okay? Bien. Okay. Una lista de posibilidades. Here is a list of possibilities. Enojarse. It doesn't mean to make yourself angry. It means to get mad. Alegrarse doesn't mean to make yourself happy. It means to become happy. Calmarse or tranquilarse, they mean the same thing. They are synonyms. Would mean to calm down, to settle down, to chill out. Preocuparse means to become worried, to get worried. Asustarse, to get scared, to become afraid. Animarse, to cheer up, to buck up your spirits. Animarse. And here, the form of that pronoun se will go strictly into reflexive. It will have to match up with the verb. Yo doing this action has to start with me and has to have a yo verb. Tú, you're doing this, has to have te, has to have a tu verb form. Okay? Bien. I'm going to tag on this little idea. Often, this verb ponerse, you know ponerse as to put on clothing, right? Me pongo los zapatos, I put on shoes. Me pongo una chaqueta, I put on a jacket, right? Me pongo los guantes, I put on gloves, ¿verdad? Okay. With clothing, ponerse is put on. With adjectives, ponerse is to put this mantle of this emotional reaction over your whole being. Ponerse with an adjective, and zapatos, shoes, are not an adjective, right? Chaqueta, jacket, is not an adjective. Ponerse with an adjective, that means a description word, tells who is getting themselves into a state or a mood. So we would say somebody gets a certain way, or feels a certain way, or becomes a certain way. Okay, dos ejemplos, two examples. Me pongo molesta cuando los niños hacen ruido. I get annoyed. Molesta is annoyed, ticked off, right? Me pongo molesta. I get ticked off, bothered, angry, annoyed. Me pongo molesta cuando los niños hacen ruido. When those kids make noise, I get bothered. I become annoyed. I get annoyed. La chica se pone roja. Even though it's an adjective, it's not a feeling, but this is what we use for blush. You get red. You get red when you blush. La chica se pone roja cuando Luis está cerca. The girl blushes, she gets all red in her face when Luis is nearby. So ponerse with an adjective will basically serve the same function as all these verbs. It's just that ponerse will stick an adjective next to it when it does that. Okay? Vale? I give you here the textbook pages where you're going to find that. They're on 2 different pages in the textbook. So you will need the textbook when you check that out. A lot of your, when I send you in the homework, the conversation questions for next week, you'll need to study up on the 2, those 2 page numbers in this book in order to kind of review what you need to do with that. And then you'll look at the conversational questions. So it'll ask about when you get upset, when you get, talk about when you get nervous, when you become happy, when you get angry, all kinds of emotional reactions. ¿Está bien?
Can you use it in the past tense?
You can absolutely use it in the past tense. Exacto. You can. I'll alter it a little bit so that you got at least 1 example with the past, or maybe 2 with the past. Yeah. And it depends on what you mean. If you want to say, I got mad, that's different than saying, I get angry. I get angry when my kids don't sort their laundry versus I got angry when nobody started the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So then that just means your verb will go into probably a reaction. Probably it'll be pretérito, but it depends on what idea you want to convey. As if something that was going on or a reaction. If it's a reaction, it'll be pretérito, right? ¿Está bien?
Sí.
Está bien.
Okay. Vale. That, I was hoping to get to qué en cuál. We didn't quite get to qué en cuál.
No.
So qué en cuál for next week. This will be enough. So you'll have lots of conversational stuff with this. They will not be accidental events. They'll be all the things of reactions, I feel this way, I get this way. My husband gets this way, my kids get this way, my pet gets this way, whatever. We can use it for talking about anybody and how they react to things. ¿Está bien?
Está bien.
Magnifico. Okay, I will send you those questions so you can prep that ahead of time. You'll want to check out those 2 little extra pages in the book. And I want you to watch the little video on, actually a couple of videos that'll talk about Seme. One will be that accidental events. One will be just sort of a compilation of all the different things that you say. And we will tackle qué en cuál next week. I promise. I am thinking you don't need a reading for next week, that it'll be better for you to maybe watch the next episode of Destinos or the next episode of El Tiempo Entre Costuras. I'll send links for both videos. Destinos is always a short 20 to 30 minute watch. El Tiempo Entre Costuras, if you feel like watching something more ambitious and you want to go about 45 minutes, because that's a longer one. Vale?
Vale.
Just for listening comprehension and kind of pulling it all together. But we will march through some parts of Destinos for Federico and, kind of see how that goes. But it'll be episodio 4. So I'll give you the link for episode 4. Vale? Bien? And they do lots of, rewinding. And so if you forgot what happened, it'll revisit previous activities and you'll be up to speed on it. Magnífico. Okay. Entonces nos vemos. Hay 2 clases más. We've got 2 more weeks to practice different things with this summer session. Do fill out the evaluation form for Scottsdale, please, when they send that to you via email. And I'm going to leave this on just so people can kind of chat their way off and visit a bit if they feel like it. Todo está bien, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Entonces nos vemos.